Hello there guys, Davinator right here, and as I promised on the BlackX1207 channel with my 10 Cloverfield Lane mini review, I am now making a Cloverfield versus 10 Cloverfield Lane video, and this is also going to be doubling as my spoiler review for 10 Cloverfield Lane, though I will also be mentioning a bunch of spoilers for the first Cloverfield, so if you haven't seen either movie, don't watch this video, check out both, they're great, you'll really enjoy them both, or at least I hope you do. Even if you don't like found footage movies, you probably enjoy Cloverfield. But yeah, so check those out, and then come back and watch the video. Or don't. That's always an option. But yeah, so I'm not really going to be debating as much why one is better than the other, but rather why one moviegoer will like 10 Cloverfield Lane better, while another will like Cloverfield better, because I don't have a whole lot of cons to mention. I love both movies. It's going to be a bunch of pros I'm going to mention. However, they're different types of pros, so again, one person will like one movie over the other and vice versa. And also, again, this is going to double as a spoiler review for 10 Cloverfield Lane. I will be talking more spoilers specifically for 10 Cloverfield Lane than for Cloverfield, though I will spoil Cloverfield. And I wrote down a decent amount of notes here on the sheet of paper, a bunch of bullet points, and they're not put into like complete order, so I might scatter my thoughts a little bit in this video, so I apologize. But yeah, just talk about right off the bat, getting spoilers for 10 Cloverfield Lane. Again, if you haven't seen the movies, check them out, please. Okay, the alien invasion fake out. I love how early in the movie, well, like halfway through 10 Cloverfield Lane, John Goodman is talking about what it might be, why they're having to hide underground in this bunker, and he's like, it's probably aliens, actually. It's probably just UFOs scanning around for life forms, and so we gotta stay down here and get away from them. And the characters are just like, yeah, sure, that's probably it. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's probably it. I was thinking, if anything, either there weren't going to be any supernatural things going on, or at most it would be like the Cloverfield monster with a very brief showing, or maybe one of the parasites from Cloverfield that you see in the train tunnels. But no, they faked you out. They're like, they told you the truth, and that's what's going to happen later on, but they painted a light towards like, yeah, sure, but then that's what's actually happening. I mean, as soon as Mary Elizabeth Winstead goes outside, well, not as soon as, but very quickly after, she's like, that's a UFO, oh. Wow, okay, and then stuff just goes bananas in the last 15 minutes, and it's awesome. But, yeah, and it kind of reminded me of the movie, I'm pretty sure it's called Labor Day, with Kate Winslet, Josh Brolin, and some kid actor who's actually really good. Completely different from 10 Cloverfield Lane, not related at all. Good movie, though. Very different type of movie from both. But, there's the thing that Josh Brolin does, like, you know, he tells this kid, he's like, the truth is the best way to throw people off, and like, when this kid's going with his mom, Kate Winslet, to go get a whole bunch of money out of the bank, and the people there are, like, kind of suspicious, they're like, why are you taking all this money with you? Because, like, they know that there's a fugitive around town, they're like, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to take all this money around town? It's getting kind of creepy and they're getting suspicious. And the kid's like, actually, we're going to take the money and go out with the fugitive, and it's going to be like Bonnie and Clyde. We're going to commit crimes together. And they're like, ha ha ha, okay, here's your money. But the thing is, that's what they're doing. Or not really committing crimes together beyond the fact of just harboring a fugitive, but yeah, so that's exactly what they're doing, but it throws them off because it sounds so ridiculous. Same thing in this movie. The whole UFO thing, the way it's done, sounds ridiculous, but no, that's what's happening. I love that fake out. That was great. Again, okay, looked at the notes. You know, I mean, oh, also, I love the twist with Megan. I mean, throughout the entire movie, you keep on hearing about this character, Megan. It was John Goodman's daughter. No, the picture that you've been seeing of Megan throughout the movie, that's not Megan. That's some chick who went missing. John Goodman apparently kidnapped her. And he's been saying that's his daughter the whole time, and now he wants to make Mary Elizabeth Winstead the new Megan. That was chilling moments, and it just really makes it creepy. Because it also fakes you out with John Goodman's character. It makes you think he's kind of creepy or maybe nice, not sure. Then he really seems creepy, but it's like, oh no, he's a nice guy. Oh no, he's bad, actually. But he's kind of nice, but no, he's bad. He's bad. He's not good. Can't trust that guy, he's crazy. Yeah, just the movie, it does kind of twist and turn on you, but especially the last 15 minutes. I mean, yeah, just continuous switch-ups throughout the thing. It turns the tables like, oh, he's good, no, he's bad, he's good, bad, blah, blah, blah. It goes back and forth a bunch. And they tell you it's aliens earlier on. No, it is actually aliens, yeah, they weren't kidding. And I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character arc in this movie as well. I mean, you know, it's a character arc that I've kind of seen before. You know, she starts out, she's kind of a person who's kind of cowardly. You know, she kind of fends for herself. Whenever something scares her, she'll run off. And by the end of the movie, she sees that sign. She's like, okay, either I can run away from this, or I can try to help people in need. And I was actually, despite the fact that there was a character arc that I kind of seen before, and I kind of figured she was going to go and try to help the people in need, I was kind of still, the way the movie executed it, and it's all within the execution. Even if something is cliche in a movie, if it's executed right, it can be done well. This is a great case of that. So I was kind of like, is she going to go help them, or is she going to go, oh, good. Whew, okay, she's going. Okay, good. And we might get a sequel. And so I did like the character arc, was well done. And yeah, just the entire escape scene to where she gets out. I mean, she gets out, she's looking around, and she cuts her suit, she freaks out, she bandages it up, and then she thinks like, wait a minute, is this even real? Takes it off, breathes. Oh, it's fine, okay. Oh, that's a UFO. And I love how her reaction is exactly just like what the audience's reaction would be, just kind of like, what? Oh. You gotta be kidding. What? That's it? And then all of a sudden this parasite creature, not one of the parasites from Cloverfield, but this big weird dog thing just goes around and is eating, or trying to eat her. It's really intense. And as I said in the little mini review, there aren't really jump scares in this movie, but despite that, I jumped several times. And that's because there are some serious close calls, like when that first scene where she's trying to escape, she's trying to get above ground, and John Goodman, he's like almost gets her in the door, and she closes just in time. It's just like, but especially when she's running to the car and you see the dog and it's just running at her, and it's like such a close call. I mean, I've seen close calls like that before. Just the way it was done, it was just like, okay, get in the car, like it, because it jumps at just as soon as she gets in the car, and it, like, I mean, it really had me on the edge because I really liked her character. I didn't want her to get hurt, so I jumped because I thought that she was about to get eaten. So yeah, very effective. Some of the few times I've jumped not at a jump scare in a movie. That's rare. They should do that more often. And just so many what the F moments in this movie with the parasite coming out and the UFO. And, oh, I forgot to mention, like, oh, it's not just a spaceship. No, it's a living creature. It's like, I mean, it keeps on switching things around and taking a step further. You think this is all, oh, no, here's this. And then here's this. And it just keeps on doing that. It's just like, oh my gosh, like the thing's alive and it's gonna eat her. One of the very few complaints I have with 10 Cloverfield Lane is that was kind of a video game moment. It's like lifting her up in the truck, it's about to eat her, it's pulling her up very, very slowly, giving her enough time to light the Molotov cocktail. And then when it opens up its throat, she throws the Molotov cocktail in there and it explodes. That's like something you'd see in a video game. That reminded me a lot of a Dead Space boss battle. I was like, it's a bit cheesy, it's a bit too cheesy, it's a little bit too far. But other than that, you know, I don't really have any criticisms for the movie. But yeah, that was kind of cheesy. And also, this is completely random, but as for Cloverfield, I know, I'm going to be talking more about the first Cloverfield later on. I'm just getting my spoiler review-ish stuff out of the way for 10 Cloverfield Lane first. But yeah, like, you know, remember, at the end of Cloverfield, if you look very closely in the Ferris wheel scene, you can see an object flying into the ocean. I mean, if you've never noticed it before, just look really closely. Look kind of like to the corner of the screen. Or you can just look it up online. But yeah, you can see an object going to the ocean. There's been plenty of debates on what it is. Because, you know, remember back in the day, there were like Cloverfield forums and a whole bunch of discussions about that because it was such a mysterious movie, even after you see it. But yeah, so, you know, a lot of people say it was a satellite that crashed down and it awakened the Clover monster. And then I personally believe, or like to believe, that it was just the Clover monster. That is the monster itself crashing down. That just, I don't know, for some reason that's just the coolest to me. But here's the thing, completely random. I highly doubt that they'll do this in a sequel or say that that's what was going on the entire time. I'm not even sure if they're going to really connect what's going on with the aliens to the Cloverfield monster, and if they're related at all, if they're part of like the same species or league or whatever. But if they are going to do that, wouldn't it be cool if it turns out that that UFO that you see in this movie, 10 Cloverfield Lane, their UFO creature thing, was, if not the exact same one, but one of those things that crashed down at the end of Cloverfield? I doubt that they'll do that, but that would be interesting if they made it like that. I don't know. Maybe it would be a little bit too easy, but anyways, so yeah, actually, okay, no, oh yeah, just, again, about the ending of 10 Cloverfield Lane, it kind of reminded me of The Mist meets Skyline. Remember that crappy alien invasion movie? Yeah, like Skyline, but not crappy like Skyline. Like, you know, like, just the aliens themselves, the alien aspect itself, it kind of reminded me of Skyline, like how it should have been. And also just the end, she's like driving to a car, she finally got out of the scenario. It seemed like a cross between those two, and I don't know, for some reason that's just the vibe that I got. It's like The Mist meets, or specifically the movie The Mist meets, you know, Skyline without the crap of Skyline, and it just sets it up so cool for a sequel, because in Skyline, I mean, the trailer made it seem like it might be pretty decent, you know, it's interesting, just these normal people, their city gets attacked by aliens, they're like, you know what, no, we're not going to stand for this, we're going to fight back, and it's like, yeah! But the movie sucked. But if they do make just a straight sequel to 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I really hope they do, I really hope this movie's successful enough to get that, and that they just do that, if they do that, it could be what we didn't get with Skyline. Although they are making a Skyline sequel. Bad idea. But I don't. Okay, you know what? It's enough about Skyline. Get away. So yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Great movie. Pretty much talked all the spoilers. And yeah, it's just all throughout. Just a very well-acted movie. If you want more of a straight review for 10 Cloverfield Lane, you can just check out my mini review. But now I'm just going to talk about comparing 10 Cloverfield Lane to Cloverfield. Now, the connections at Cloverfield are, I mean, like, this review is late, of course, so, I mean, you might have already seen videos where people are talking in depth about it, and you might already, or maybe you've seen the movie and you already know it, but yeah, like, you know, they're the only connections, there's like an envelope that says Slusho is the company that the main character in Cloverfield was associated with, and also, I mean, you know, the mailbox, it says 10 Cloverfield Lane, and obviously that's the title of the movie, and plus they're both Bad Robot movies, you know, that, or they're produced by the same studio, you know, the font for the title is the same, Cloverfield, but, I mean, the connections are very loose, and just that UFO, alien creature thing, it looked kinda similar-ish. It looked like it could have been, like, from the same ecosystem or something as the Cloverfield monster that you get in the original Cloverfield, but it's very slightly connected. However, I do get a somewhat similar-ish feel. I definitely, I can definitely see them being set in the same universe. I hope they're not going to do it to where, like, each Cloverfield movie is going to be its own Twilight Zone-ish thing, to where they're isolated and not related to each other. That would make sense, because 10 Cloverfield Lane really only has, like, Easter egg connections to the original Cloverfield. But I hope they're not doing that. I hope in, like, a third Cloverfield movie that they'll just straight up connect the movies, or maybe in a fourth or something. Because I want to see connections. Maybe it'll turn out that this UFO creature that you see in 10 Cloverfield Lane is the same type of thing that crashed down at the very end of Cloverfield that you can barely see. Who knows? Of course, if they do that, then, you know, they didn't actually plan that originally when they put that in Cloverfield, the first one. They obviously didn't plan ahead this far. This is stuff that they came up later on, because this script for 10 Cloverfield Lane, it was originally a different movie, and they saw it, they're like, you know, this would be kind of interesting if we somewhat connected it to Cloverfield. So they changed it up a little bit, and bam, get 10 Cloverfield Lane. But yeah, so the connections are very minimal, but you do get a similar-ish vibe. They still have that survival vibe. But here's the thing. Again, they both have a bunch of pros, but Cloverfield is a big action, adventure, horror film with a whole bunch of destruction and a lot more just raw intensity than getting chased by parasites in the tunnels and just, like, you know, Lizzie Kaplan just knocking that thing off the guy, hitting it a bunch of times, then she gets hit, and then, you know, they're on the bridge and things are going kind of slow, and then all of a sudden, bam, tail, poof, stuff explodes, goes crazy, bridge flips over, or then they're walking through the streets, then the military shows up, a bunch of machine gun fire and tanks and missiles, and then there's the monster right there. The first time you see it, it's like, holy crap, that's the monster, and then later on, like, it's getting bombed, and poof, and then, making the sound effects, and then they think it's dead, and then it jumps up and bats the helicopter and swings around, poof, and then the end, there's the big nuke, and you hear the thing roaring, and Cloverfield's crazy. It's a very exciting movie. It's not like most found footage movies to where it's really slow and boring. No, Cloverfield's a big adventure horror film. Oh yeah, and the parts where Lizzie Kaplan explodes, like, you know, that was just completely spontaneous, just bam, poof, that was gross and cool. So yeah, whereas 10 Cloverfield Lane, except for the last 10 to 15 minutes, to where it's similar to that, it's a pretty slow movie, and of course it's not found footage. The most obvious difference is that Cloverfield's found footage. 10 Cloverfield Lane is not found footage. That's really obvious. You can see that from the trailer immediately. But they also just have, you know, they have different feels. 10 Cloverfield Lane, it's a slow rom-com movie. It's them sitting around and talking, or standing and talking, and when there are suspenseful scenes throughout the vast majority of the movie, it's like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's trying to get out of her room. She's smart, so she's figuring out, like, okay, if I set this up like this, and then he'll come through here, and I can beat him up and get out, or, you know, and, like, they're crawling through vents and trying to fix machinery and stuff like that, and even when it does get exciting, you know, when, like, she takes that bottle and smashes it against John Goodman's head and jumps up and runs out the stairs, even that's not like just, holy crap, the military's here, and there's the monster, and stuff's crashing down, and there's the Statue of Liberty's head, and buildings are falling down, and stealth bombers, choppers going down. It's not like that. It's not nearly on that level. This is a much more low-key type movie. But, you know, beyond the fact that it does have connections to Cloverfield, and it's just interesting the fact that we're getting a sequel to Cloverfield, it's just a well-made movie. It's effectively suspenseful. It's very Hitchcockian, whereas Cloverfield is just, you know, a J.J. Abrams type action adventure movie. Though, you know, I mean, Matt Reeves directed it, but it's produced by J.J. Abrams, whatever. 10 Cloverfield Lane. So, and the performances are pretty much better. I mean, Cloverfield, there's some good dialogue and the acting is really good. But, you know, it's definitely more humorous at times. The dialogue is a lot more, like, witty, banterish with T.J. Miller's character. He's pretty funny in that movie. He lightens the mood sometimes. Not too much, because he also can give a dramatic performance in the movie. He does good with that as well. Whereas in this movie, there's humor. There's some funny moments. I chuckled several times. It's well done. But, you know, it's mainly more serious conversations, and it's really well done. There's some better, genuine drama. So, if you want a big, explosive action movie with witty banter, Cloverfield's your type of movie. And with a bunch of special effects and stuff like that, and just, you know, a found footage movie that's not boring, Cloverfield's for you. 10 Cloverfield Lane, it's more Hitchcockian, it's slow to build up, and there's more dialogue scenes and genuine drama and great emotion in the performances, more developed characters, just a creepy character with John Goodman, as everyone has been praising him for, and he really deserves that. And 10 Cloverfield Lane's your movie. Of course, in the last 10-15 minutes, everything goes bat crap crazy, and it becomes like Cloverfield. But anyway, yeah, so that's all I have to say. I mean, you know, in my mini review for Cloverfield Lane, I gave it a A-, whereas Cloverfield, to be honest, Cloverfield's one of my favorite horror movies. It's definitely my favorite found footage movie. That gets an A+ for me, easy. I might do a standalone review for Cloverfield in the future, but I'm not sure about that. I'd have to think about it. We'll see where we go with this Dave and Nerder channel. But anyway, guys, I am sorry if my points were really scattered throughout. I hope that I was able to remain entertaining here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please rate and comment and subscribe. And if you want to, you can also share. Thank you for watching the video very much, guys. Goodbye.